Hi guys, welcome to Jen's Creativity Corner. Welcome to my Escape the House virtual escape room. If you want to avoid the intro, go ahead and look in the description down below. I've got everything timestamped. You can get started, but I would recommend just holding on and staying with me for a bit here. In this escape room, you will actually be going room by room within a house, trying to get out of the house. Like I mentioned, timestamps are in the description, so you will get a view of each room as you enter that has all of the clues that you need in it, and then step by step you'll open different lock boxes, figure out different puzzles, but you can check out the timestamps to be able to jump back and forth between the puzzles and the room, so you can review it as much as you want to be able to solve it. I highly recommend having a piece of paper and a pencil. You're going to want that to figure out some things, not like you're doing tons of equations or anything, but it's going to be really helpful. So after we discover a clue or a puzzle, I'm going to go ahead and put up some information. One is going to be the difficulty level. So this is what I've decided to rate it as based upon feedback from others, as well as visibility of what you can see in the footage and pictures I show you, and the actions required to be able to sort it out. Once I've introduced something to you, I'm going to go ahead and slap up a stop symbol and also a green arrow. That's going to let you know you've got about 3 to 5 seconds to pause it, so you can work it out on your paper, so you can go back and review the room, sort it out for yourself before I start giving you the answer, or in the case of a couple of times, a clue. So the arrow will let you know if there's a clue coming up, otherwise you'll proceed right to figuring out the answer afterwards. Some important details, tips, and tricks I do have again in the description down below. And last but not least, some of these, the answer that I am looking for is not going to be the exact combination, because you're not going to be able to figure out everything. There are some actions that I have to do, being your eyes, ears, and hands in some ways. So sometimes the answer that I'm looking for from you is, how do we come to the answer? What do you need to do? What steps do you need to take to figure it out? And there are some things hidden within the house that you probably have in your own house that can help give you a close estimated guess. So that's something as well that you might consider. I know this is a bit of a long video, so if you don't have the time to do it all right now, I did do this in a 21-day step process. So you could watch it day by day, or you could pause this at any time and come back to it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. I hope you enjoy it. I would love your feedback, and I hope to have you come back for another one and leave your feedback. So let's go for it. So the first room that we are in is the living room. So just going to show you some pictures, some things kind of panning around up close. So we've got like an entertainment center with windows behind it. We've got a St. Patrick's Day tree. You can ignore that, that's just decoration. We've got a fireplace and a bookshelf with stuff on it. Now underneath the tree, you do want to pay attention to that, but just some closer up shots. If you do want to see, I'm doing a holiday tree for every occasion this year, so you can check out that playlist. But down below we have 4 lock boxes. So we'll show you up close the locks so you actually know what you're looking for. On the fireplace you see a bunch of numbers. I'll give you a closer up shot later, but from what you can tell, no discernible pattern. And here are the boxes. And you can kind of see what's inside if you look close on some of them. Like that big old thing just has 1 quarter in it. Alright, so here's one of the locks, 4 letters. This one is 3 numbers. This is 4 or 5 letters. And 3 numbers here. So if you need to look back, feel free to. Let's go ahead and explore the room. So we're going to start right to left. We're going to look at this here entertainment center. Just taking a glance. I'll be your eyes, ears, and hands to be able to do any actions here. So we're just going to say you're looking over here, checking things out, and also maybe you want a little extra light in the room. So you are opening the blinds. And you happen to see on it some strips of paper. So this is our first clue. Not an ocean, but a blank, +1. Red robin, blue blank, +2. Not to be crude, but I need to blank -2. And oh golly, blank +1. Alright, now you have to figure out which of these lock boxes it goes to. So go ahead and take a look at that. Pause now. So here is a clue. If you are not from the US, you may not understand number 2. So I would do a little bit of a search, and we're talking about things in the air. And number 4, you might not know what that is if you're younger, I guess. So maybe that's something to help out. So here is our answer. Did you figure it out? Not an ocean, but a sea. +1 is A, B, C, D. Red robin, blue jay. So those are both North American birds. +2 would be L. Not to be crude, but I need to pee. -2 is the letter N, and oh golly, G is a saying. And then +1 is H. So we have got 4 letters here, and let's go ahead and open that up. So in this first container, we have a quarter, just a standard US quarter, and then this little pen contraption thing, which has a button. If you look, it is a laser pointer. But no other clues about why we need it. So that must mean we're looking for something else. So on to the next puzzle. Just looking at more things again. We're going to start from the right, looking for more puzzles or more clues on this here table. And you know what? Stack of DVDs, probably a good place to look. We've got, again, our fireplace. Said I'd give you a little bit closer up look. You can see some of those numbers, just 0 through 9. Did look at the fireplace, nothing special there. And on the bookshelf over here, nothing behind or under these little signs or with the record player. Stacks of books is also a good place to look, but you didn't find anything there. So we have a quarter. Well, we know something we can do with a quarter, and that is use this here machine. And let's see what pops out. Okay, so this is actually a die from Scattergories game, but it's not exactly 26-sided. I don't know how many sides it is. It's not the entire alphabet, but it's got a bunch of letters. So we've got our laser pen and a bunch of letters, which I don't have anything to connect those to right now. So, taking a look here, going back to our DVDs. Let's delve in a little bit more. So you can look and see, are there notes on here? Is there a trend on like actors or types of videos? So we're gonna open that up. It is what it says it is. Bride Wars, well, that is a DVD for World War Z. And it has a little post-it note with numbers on it. So that is probably something. Swan Princess is, well, that's what it says it is. Devil Wears Prada, that's what it says it is. Alvin and the Chipmunks Halloween collection. Oh, that is a day after tomorrow. With post-it note. The Host, not in the right DVD container, with post-it notes. And another one with post-it note, not in the right container. So we've got 4 DVDs here with post-it notes. So this is our next puzzle. This one is definitely one of the harder ones. You'll see the rating on that, but go ahead and see what you can piece together if you can figure out what the answer is. Here are some better close-ups. And I hope you can appreciate that I filmed this all during the 2020 lockdown of the COVID-19 nightmare, and I decided to do post-apocalyptic, dystopian kind of, or I don't know, just apocalyptic videos. I thought that was funny. So here's the outside of the cases as well, in case that means anything. So this is your chance to see if you can figure it out before I go giving any clues. Okay, if you are ready for clue, let me show you the best way to figure this out, which is to write down what you have. See it from a different perspective. So I'm writing down the number and then the comma number. That is what is on the post-it notes next to the name of the DVDs. And then I also did a column with the name of the DVD cases. So that may or may not matter, but you're just getting all the facts laid out in a different format. And see how helpful that is? You have here 5 sets of numbers. Even though there's only 4 DVDs, there were 5 post-it notes. So, your big clue here is you're going to look for 5 things. Well, the only lock in the room that has 5 is this 5 letter. So how do you get letters from this? Go ahead and pause it and try to see if you can figure it out before I give you the answer. Okay, so we are going to take these columns and look for similarities. So on the left-hand side, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on the other side, different numbers. But 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 would help you to recognize that these tell us what order things are in for a 5-letter combination. Then the other number indicates a place mark. So it may be the DVD, it may be the DVD case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 places over would be the letter F. Now you can also try and check yourself with what is in the case, but in this case, I'm just going to let you know the case didn't matter. Just the fact that they didn't match the case designated that they were a clue. It's the actual DVD that you are getting the letter from. So 4 letters over is the letter L. So the code is flash. Did you figure it out? Alright, so inside this envelope we get a piece of paper. This is actually our next piece of the puzzle, our next clue. So take a gander there and see, going back, this is 9 out of 10. This is the hardest one, I think. So I want you to tell me, what do I do with this paper? Where does it go? What else do I need? And what does it lead us to? You're not going to know the exact answer without actually doing a physical action, so I'll do that. But tell me what all we're looking for here. You see here we have this piece of paper that has ABCD on it. Well, that matches what we've got. And we've got this circle and times 4 or x4. Well, we've got these coasters. And then if you look at the rest of the outline, once we've got it all lined up, that's where our little laser pointer goes. So that is the answer, essentially, what you would be doing and what it leads us to. Because the next part of the question is, what do you do now that it's pointing at that random brick? So, knowing that it's pointing at that brick and the other things that are on the paper, can you tell me what we need to do? Feel free to pause if you need to think about it. Okay, so here is a picture of the numbers written in better. So if you need to pause it again, feel free to do that so you actually figure out the numbers, because now you should be able to tell me what the combination is. Alright, so the answer here It was pointing to a white brick and it says 3R. So the 3 that are touching the right hand side. If you go down 6, 8, 7. So that is our combination there. And this is the one that it has the single quarter. So we know what to do with the quarters. Let's go ahead and see what we get our second go around. And this time it's a little capsule. Instead of a toy, it has a piece of paper in there. So the last of the things that we have that are not used is this capsule and also this here die, which they came out of the same place. They both required quarters to get to. So that kind of links them together. So I'm going to show you rotating things. There's a piece of paper I wrote on both sides, and then there's this die. Tell me what the next combination is. All right, were you able to figure it out? Well, you were always looking for something that is different, something that sticks out. And we're looking for 3 letters. And you know what? There are 3 letters exactly that are underlined on the die. So that is our combination. And you just have to kind of match up the letters to find the correct combination. And in these underlined open spots, then we're going to find the letters that coordinate with the numbers for our last 3-digit combination. And the clue on here, it says code alpha order, so that's telling you that it is going to be in alphabetical order for the letters that you found, which for M, N, and W, it goes in that order. So you've got 5, 2, and the W is a 3, if you look at the numbers underneath it. So we're going to open this up and find our next clue, or it will give us, in this particular case, the next room that we are going to be going to. Well, I'm going to give you again, we're going to pan, we're going to do different shots so you can see everything that's in view. Kind of like the last room, I'll let you know, you looked underneath the little mirror and you looked behind the butterfly painting and everything and you didn't see anything. So those are out. You didn't see anything special in the bottles. So let's take a look at our lock boxes and combinations. So there were 3. One has 3 numbers. One has 8 numbers, but not necessarily an 8-digit combination. And then one is directional, left, right, up, down. So the first clue is going to be upon your observation. It's probably the easiest one here, but go ahead and pause if you need to and figure it out. All right, did you get it? It's on the mirror here, 30 times 80 times 32. Now the question is, did you really get it? If you got a giant number, how useful is that? You were looking for a 3-digit number. So if you didn't get a 3-digit number, think about that a second. Pause if you need to. All right, well, what happened is a mirror is in reverse. You are actually looking at 3 times 8 times 23. Did that throw you off a bit? Which is 552. All right, so we are gonna open this up and see what this here piece of paper and tape and marker is about. Feel free to take your time. All right, so here is our answer. I'm going to show you how you come up with it. So normally, if you're looking at numbers and letters, A is 1, B 2, C 3. Not in this particular one. At the top, we have a clue here. So it says B is 1, M is 10, and Y is 20. And it also says 1 through 21. It's not 26 letters. And if you count, I mean, Y would not normally be 20, it would be 25. So we're missing 5 letters. Well, if you think about it, the vowels A, E, I, O, U are 5. And I is already used in the message at the bottom. So it is the alphabet minus the vowels, as the vowels that are necessary are already there. Go ahead and take a moment if you need to. Pause right now. See if you can figure it out. All right, it says, will I sink in the sink? So, well, to find out if something's gonna sink, well, you gotta put it in water. And the sink is great at filling up. So let's put in some water and see what happens. I think this is probably my favorite puzzle or clue in all of them. And it magically reveals more arrows than you could originally see. It's a little bit hazy right here. It's a little bit better when you pick it up. But instead of up, left, right, up, it's up, down, left, right, right, up, left. And what combo does that go to? This here directional lock. It can have like an infinite number of directions, so it's pretty cool. But opening up this container, we have a bunch of makeup. So this is eyeshadow, kind of the purpley gray. This orangish one is a liquid lip color, so lipstick. The sparkly ones are moisturizing gloss. And then varying shades of foundation testers. So this is what we've got. Again, you're going to be able to pause it here and tell me what combination you can possibly get from this picture. This one is maybe a little bit harder just because you can't see it and, handle it up close. But if you take a look at it and line it up as I could here, you could line it up in your mind. We've got 2 of these eyeshadows, the same color. We've got 4 of the sparkly ones, which are lip glosses. We've got 6 of these orangish lipsticks, and we've got 7 of the foundation testers. So 2, 4, 6, 7 is the combination that you punch into this lock. Taking a look at our next clue here, we are moving on to the kitchen. Make sure to wash those hands thoroughly in between. So let's take a look. Lots of things to see here. So I'm curious how many locks you spotted here. In this room, we will be looking for 6 locks and combinations. Here's a close-up of what the containers are, what the locks look like, so you get into your mind what we need to find. There are 4 with 3 digits. So this is what you've got. Let's see your powers of observation, what you can solve with just what I've already given you. Well, here we have these measuring cups. They have numbers 1, 8, 2 on them. There's one that's there that doesn't have a number. If you put them in order, you can try smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Trial and error. Here we get 812 is a combination. And because you'll see there are some color coding, there's red stickers that go with a red lock. Perhaps there's green tape that might go to a green lock. In this case, they're black cups. You can try the black lock. And in this container, we've got a couple things here. Got a bottle of water as a sticker on it, but we're really looking for this. The first of the first is the first, second of the second is the second, third of the third is the third, fourth of the fourth is the fourth. You can figure it out. This is your next clue based upon the pictures there. Sorry, I know we kind of breezed by that bottle that was in there, but I'm just going to let you know we don't need that right now. Let's see what you can figure it out. Well, you can figure it out with cans. There are a bunch of stacked cans here. We have some numbers. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they each have kind of a box around certain words. So the first letter on the first can is B. The second letter on the second can is O. The third letter on the third can is E. And the fourth letter on the fourth can is S. So B-O-E-S is our combination. There's a couple here. This one has 4 letters. The other one could be 4 or 5. So that's a little bit of trial and error. But this is the one that it opens up. So we've just got a little bag here. And inside, by golly, we have another water bottle that has a red sticker on it. And we've got this container. It's got white powders, it's got tape with numbers on it. So this is kind of a 2-part question. I want to know, first of all, what are you supposed to do with this? How do you know what you're supposed to do with this? How is this going to give us a combination? Is there something else in this room that you need? Well, you might say it has something to do with water that's in the bottle, but that would not be correct. If you notice here, there's some green tape. And over here, there is a container with the exact same green tape on it. So it's also on a plate. That is probably going to be helpful. We're going to have a little fun with science and pour in the mystery liquid into the mystery powders and see what happens. So there's 1, 4. Ooh, 4 gives us quite the bubbly reaction. 2 also gives us a big reaction. 5 does nothing. 6 does nothing. And 3 gives us a reaction. So 4, 2, and 3 all gave us reactions, but how do you know what order they're in? They were stacked out of order. You can pause in just a moment. This is your second part of the question. How do you know what order these belong in? Based on this picture, how do you know what order these go in? Well, if you look on the bottom right, we've got some little dots that designate their place. So the first, because of 1 dot, would either be 4 or 1. We know 4 reacted, and so forth and so on. 2 dots means the second place. 3 dots is the third place. So we're going to open up this container here. And all that is in this one is silverware, cutlery. couple forks, spoons, and knives. That's all you get. That's all she wrote. What do you do with this? Well, again, you're usually looking for something that's different, that's going to speak to you, that's going to stick out. What's different in this is that you've got rainbow colored forks. So we're going to check out and see if the 5 letters of forks opens up a combination, which it does. So inside this bag here, we've got yet another water bottle with a red smiley, and we've got a measuring tape that has a yellow smiley face sticker on it. So observing what's in the room, and maybe even using something that's in your house if you have it available, the biggest part that I want you to tell me is, what do you do with this? How is this going to help you get a combination? And you can kind of make a guesstimate. You're not going to be able to know exactly, most likely, because you're not there, but I'll do the action that's necessary for you in just a moment. All right, well, if you noticed in the room, there are yellow stickers on this water bottle. Kind of off to the left, you can kind of see that there's this bunch of lines. You can see there are little notches on this spot to be measured. So you can try either side. We're looking here at centimeters, and it is 12. And that there says times 10. So 120 is our answer. Now we have 4 water bottles in this jar that has a bunch of numbers and lines on it. I want you to figure out not only what are we doing, but what is your estimated guess, and is there anything else in the room that we might need to be able to get the last combination for this room. As you can see here, there are 4 of the red smiley stickers, and there are 4 bottles with red smiley stickers on them. Different levels of water here, and this is fun to kind of guess what your spatial awareness is. What kind of volume you can get different containers into a larger container. All right, so we are filling it up, and it comes up to the line 468. Well, if you're gonna try that combination, it's not gonna open up. We are indeed missing something, which is on this lid. If you remember when we opened up the last one, it was covering up this here sign. It's actually supposed to be a plus, not a times. That's a little sloppy, but plus 12. So 468 plus 12 equals 480. That is our combination here. It's a way you kind of hide it so you can't just trial and error the locks. All right, next room, we are heading to a bedroom. Here is the bedroom. Pretty plain and simple. There's a lot to see, but not a lot to see, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna pan around, show you what there is. This room is different. Did you see any lock boxes? Did you see any locks that need combinations? They're not those little decorative suitcases. There was nothing. There were no locks on there. But something that does need a password is a cell phone. So you turn it on, it says reverse normal order. Go to swipe it. There you go, enter a password to unlock. You don't know if it's letters, numbers, a word, combination of letters and numbers. So from everything you see in the room, tell me what that password is. What you were looking for, we got a bunch of letters here. And if you look here, there's an A with a picture of an apple. Well, guess what? There was also an apple in the room. There is a C with little crayons in it. There's a box of crayons. There's an M with music notes in it. There are some CDs there. We've got a P with a pencil in it. There are some mechanical pencils. We've got a W for writing, and it has books. There are some notebooks there. And we've got Z with a zipper on it, and I've got a whole spool of zipper. Now, there were like teddy bears and all that. Those didn't mean anything, so we're just going to put these in. And when it says reverse normal order, we're going to do it not in alphabetical, but reverse alphabetical. And you get this picture. This is our next clue. And this, well, this is my home office. So let me go take you over there. Take a gander at what we've got here. I work from home from my regular day job. And ignore the little cover-up piece of papers there. That's just for privacy. And you're not actually going to need the screens or the computer for anything. I'm not gonna have you like log on to those. Well, the picture you got took you to the room. There may or may not be a clue within it. There may or may not be clues that you are just staring at right now. But since you don't have anything else to go off of, we're relying on your powers of observation to find out what the first lock is going to be opened with. What's that combination? Okay, did you happen to notice that in this video and also in this picture and in this picture and in this picture, that clock all the same time? That clock is broken. So that combination is the time, which is 5:52 on there. That opens up our first lock, but that container is still closed with another lock. So since that doesn't lead us to anything, our next puzzle is again observational. Did you spot something else in the room that maybe wasn't the clock that's going to do something for us? Well, whether or not you know the layout of my actual house, if you see a fire escape plan, that probably is helpful in an escape room. So we've got the star indicating where you are and a circle around where you need to go. So we're going to take our directional lock and we're going to follow it, which you would go right, down, left, and down to escape at the closest exit. And that is what opens up our lock. So now we can look inside this here. There's kind of a Russian nesting doll situation going on here. Got this bag with another lock. Again, it's that 4 or 5 letter one, because it can have a blank at the end. And then we've got an envelope here. Our next clue, it says 5338. It doesn't add up. Don't be a fool, use a tool. It's in your favor on your side. On a flower, they often touch down. No, that is not good poetry, but it doesn't have to be. Well, don't be a fool, use a tool. There's a tool there. Doesn't add up, I mean you add on calculators. So I'm going to plug in 5338, and then underlined is upside down. Well, on a flower, they often touch down. That spells out bees. I don't know if you've done this before with calculators, but turning them upside down, you can spell words out. In this case, it is bees. All right, in this bag we have a random cord. It has a piece of tape with numbers on it, 23 equals 80 or 23 equals 80. Based on your observation of the things in the room, how does this help you open up a lock, the last lock? So we're going to take that and compare it to other things that we have not used yet, which on the right hand side here you will see we've got different cords. Got a short little pink one, we've got little headphones, gray one, and we have an identical cord. It's black, it's got the same kind of plug-in jack stuff. And all of these miscellaneous cords have the number 1 equals something. So again, looking at those placeholders, 1 is going to be the first number in the combination. 2, 3 is going to be the second and third. So the combination 480. All right, and here we find a to-do list, which leads us into the garage, because that's where all of the tools are going to be found for what we need to accomplish on this to-do list. So we've got here 3 locks, 3 lock boxes. We've got a directional one here. Can't really see what's inside. We've got another one, you can't really see what's inside. And then this one has a garage door opener. This is going to help us escape the house. And these other 2 containers, the garage door opener and the other one, have 3 digits each for them. So taking a look at the room, the footage you saw, how are we going to complete our to-do list, and how does that help us open up a lock? Well, if you take a gander here, compare it to our to-do list. Grease a squeaky door. Well, you're going to use that WD-40 can on the top left. Measure 2x4s. Well, you use a measuring tape, so you go down from there. Patch the tarp up. Well, a tarp you can patch up with roll of duct tape, which is to the right. Paint the bathroom. We got a paint roller that's up from there. Hang up pictures. Probably going to want a hammer to put in some nails. Tighten the sink pipes. Got a pipe wrench there. And then tighten the screws. I don't know what the screws are, but or what they go to, but tighten them. You're going to want that screwdriver on the bottom right. So we've got ourselves a directional lock with a path. In our first container, here we have just a piece of paper. and it has 3 pictures on it. Tell me, what is the next combination using this clue? Well, if you look around the room, if you spy with some sharp eyes, you're going to see a number of these items. So, first one is bike. Well, we've got 2 bikes. Second one is picture of a shovel. Well, we've got 3 shovels. And then we've got a picture of a ladder. Well, we've only got 1 ladder. So in that order, we've got a combination 2, 3, 1. And in this bag here, we've got a couple things. We've got a large marble and then a piece of paper with the number 17 on there. Well, there's one thing that stands out in the room that we haven't done yet, and it's going to use the marble, and it's kind of a fun true-false machine that I came up with, designed and put together. It's a good amount of work into it, and I hope to make more in the future, but it's got 4 questions, and if you are right, it will lead you to the right answer. If you're wrong at any point in it, it kicks the marble out and you have to start over again. So it's got an arrow to where you insert the marble. And again, if it's wrong, it'll go out one of these 2 spots on the left and right, as you can see. So take the marble, drop it in, go to the first question. Left is false, right is true. Antibacterial soaps are no better than others. Is that true or false? Well, since you can't do it with your own hands, I'm going to go false, left on each one, and then to the right if needed. Well, we put false and it kicked it out as a wrong answer, so we know the answer is true. Antibacterial soaps are no better than others. It's kind of interesting when you learn the chemistry. You see, it didn't fall out of any of them. It actually went into the second chamber. So the second question, a virus is a living thing. True or false? So again, we're going to go false first, just because you can't do this with your own hands. And it did not kick it out the bottom, meaning it went into the next chamber. We were correct. Virus comes from Latin, slimy liquid or poison. If you want to look these up, you can. Otherwise, you can just do an estimated guess, or you can just do an educated guess. So we're going to say false. It kicks it out as wrong. So now we got to go back up to the top, make sure the arrows are pointing up again. And again, it was true, false. And then we know that this one is true. Last question here. It's in the last chamber. COVID-19 is a zoonotic disease. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Zoonotic disease. Well, if we say false, kicks it out as wrong. Zoonotic means that it started in animals and then transferred the barrier over to humans, which is pretty rare. All right, we know that was true, false, true, and this one was true. So watch for where the marble comes out. Did you catch that? It came out in the 12 spot. So times 12. Yeah, that little piece of paper, 17. 17 times 12. The answer is 204. Guys, this is it. This is the end. Let's see the beautiful outside as we escape the house together. Are you ready? Don't we all wish we could open our garage and see that view? Well, probably not, because that would be hard to drive on a beach. But this is a beautiful beach in New Zealand that I got the pleasure of having a horrific, life-changing sunburn on. But it was still a wonderful experience a couple years ago. So you can check out my vlogs if you like. I work for an airline, so I do get to travel a decent amount, as long as we're not on lockdown, like we were when I created this. All right, guys, what did you think? I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love feedback. Please be kind. Put a lot of effort in. literally dozens, probably of hours into creating and editing this. So I really do appreciate your support. If you would like to see more escape rooms, I mean, I got ideas. I got fun ideas. It is trickier to do them virtually versus doing them in person, which I've done like in my own garage in my own house. But I think it's a fun challenge for me to create and for you to do. So if you like that, please give this a thumbs up, share, and comment down below. Let me know. We want more of these. So I appreciate your subscription, and I hope to see you guys around soon. Congrats on escaping the house.